Well, in the second episode for season 1 of Narcos Mexico, we get some of the details of how Felix is setting up his inevitable empire, you know. And then I said, like, the similarities between this and Breaking Bad, they're both drug stories, you know. And this goes into the details of their pure form of marijuana, which is what won them in. Otherwise, they would have been shot and dumped in a hole somewhere. But instead, no, they had some really good crop of marijuana here that was better. And they go into the explanations for it and how careful they have to be about it. And so Rafa is he's the farmer here, if you will, the guy who's refined this. And the main thing is that he can't have the cross-pollination messing with it. And so he needs a more isolated area for them to grow the weed. And this turns out to be the desert, but the problem with deserts is there's no water. So they've got to find an aquifer, which they do. Now, this is where you get into the stuff of, well, did it actually happen like this? You know, because the show each time tells you, look, this is based on, true stories and whatnot, but there's some dramatic license and all of that sort of thing. And I don't know did this guy actually throw explosives down a hole? He gets drunk. They're trying and they're like, oh, God damn it. They got a geology professor threatening to kill him if he doesn't find the water. He's trying to find it, and all that stuff. And Rafa is just drunk, and so he throws some explosives down the hole they've done. And, it works. What do you know? It's like the car broke down, so you kick it, and suddenly it starts. So, I don't know, maybe. But anyway, so victory, and now they've got their little hideaway place to raise the crop, safe from the cross-pollination that would change it and not make it as pure and lovely as their version of marijuana. Yeah. So anyway, Felix, on the other hand, he's got to make everybody come together to make this work. He's already convinced the corrupt secret police, because they're just like, hey, this is better stuff, and that's it. So says, all right, you can get the others on board. We're going to give this a go. And he goes around, and he's got a lot of convincing to do. He makes his sale. He's very good at this. And this is more of the details of just how brilliant a man Felix is, and how he's able to navigate all these different personalities and whatnot. And but then he runs into a problem here. So there's this one guy he's got to get on board, and he's up for it. He likes the details that Felix is laying out, but it's the problem with Felix's boss back at home. They've got this grudge between the two, and the two they just can't get along, and so Felix says, don't worry, man, I'm going to smooth this over. Which, how's he going to do that? He has no idea. He's just going to try. And of course, the ultimate goal is so much better than whatever stupid grudge they have. But, well, he can't do it. It doesn't have, they have the big meeting, everything's going great. Everything's coming together. And the guy praises Felix for all of this. So his boss, that's it. All right, he expected that he would get the praise, but he didn't. And so that's it. He cancels the whole thing, says, I will not work with him. He insults him, so they leave. So then the others are like, well, if they're leaving, I'm leaving. So then the whole thing just falls apart. And as a result, the boss decides, well, Felix has got to take the fall for this. So they're going to take him off to get killed. And, his buddies are like, oh, man, it's too bad. So he gives his necklace to make sure my wife gets this and all that stuff. He's going down, and all of a sudden, here comes the police, and they pull him over, and the boss says, you know who I am, and all that. Well, see, here's the deal. Felix's plan is so good secret police or the DFS, I believe. Yeah, they want it really bad, and this is the one asshole who's the problem. So guess what they're gonna do? So, yeah, they gun them all down. They save Felix. Felix gets the opportunity to kill his boss, which he does. That's what you get for being stupid. And that's that, because they're like, well, now you're in charge, But now he's in debt to them more directly than before. But the ultimate thing is that his plan is what won out. And they're like, this is much better. We can't afford to let this go. So this is the asshole who's the problem, who stupidly did this. And that was it. He pretty much did himself in as a result. So that's pretty much the setup there of, Felix, he's in. He's got it set up. He's in Guadalajara, and he's building his empire, And but it almost didn't happen. But, the plan was that good, so they all wanted it. So he gets set up at the front, I guess, is this hotel that he runs. And I think that's why it was called the Plaza system for this episode. And that's where you see the beginnings of the cartel. So then it moves on into the third episode, El Padrino, which, of course, I had no idea what it meant. But by the end, that Felix is the godfather. And that's the organization he's running there. We get more details of Kiki getting closer and closer. And he's been humiliated where he thought he had it, and then it turned out either they knew it was coming, or however they do it, or how they hide the operation, but he got fooled and was humiliated and whatnot. But he's not giving up, and he finds that where the growers are, he finds all that, and he just does it on his own, which was highly dangerous. But he does it, and his own boss says, "You do that again," but still, okay, now we got something. But eventually, they're going to run up against their own corruption that's within, not them particularly, but the American corruption, and then the Mexican government, so on. It makes it so damn hard to get anything done, because it's just like you're walking through mud the whole time. You can't move, So that's the problem that he's having. But it's still interesting as it mirrors between the two men of Felix and Kiki, and what the frustrations they go to. Felix is actually growing much further than Kiki is, but at the same time, each gain he makes, there's a huge price for it, and that's the problem that he runs into. So he's trying, he's maintaining it. He has a wedding party for this guy who's high up within the government. I forget exactly what his position was, but the man means an awful lot to him. He's known him all his life. He was, he was the bodyguard for the man's son, and the guy's son. I mean, he's briefly there, but he's the one who calls him Godfather, and it seems more along the lines that he actually has actual respect for Felix, but you don't get a lot from him. But at the time, it's all very emotional, and for Felix, this is a moment where he's achieving something. He's achieving this fatherly respect from this man, but it's not. So he advises him about how to manage all of this, because he's about to lose yet again another part of the organization, because the secret police screwed them over and decided that they had cheated them on some money and killed some of them. And then so he arranges for the actual killer to be captured, and they get their revenge on the hitman, who was just following the orders of the boss. Nava is his name. But this sets up an animosity between the two. So Nava is going to be waiting in the wings to stick it back to Felix, but he outsmarts him here to maintain these brothers within the organization. So that's how that plays out. But that's the kind of thing that Felix is constantly having to deal with this, and he says he wants to get on the top, but you're never really going to get there. Because the consequences of each move he makes is horrendous, So, but after all of that, he's at this wedding party, for this guy's son marrying this girl and all that. And it's all great and stuff. And he says something really nice for him and praises him and all that. And he's like, he's like getting respect from a man he sees as his father, his father figure. And then afterward, he said, says, okay, I'm going to need $200,000 and you're going to pay $100,000 to the other guy. And you got to remember who and what you are. You didn't think this was all just buddy, did you? So his heart's broken, and it's just like, who can he believe in or anything, but that's, more so than the danger and the possible, getting killed at any moment. There's also things like that, and he's never really going to get what he's chasing, especially after what he's doing. Now, of course, what does he have? Well, he's got a wife and a child. He could have just been satisfied with that, but, he's burning with ambition. Yeah. So, all right. That's 2 episodes there. I'll do 2 more soon. Which I've already seen, actually, and boy, oh boy, are those are good. This is a great series. I'm really enjoying it a lot, and I do highly recommend it if you haven't, because and certainly the way I think it should be is to start at the beginning and watch the first season. So this has turned out to be quite the treat, because each episode is very well shot and complex and delivers so much. And certainly I am agreeing with Polly from Latino Slant that, yes, each episode is very much on the level of a movie within itself. So, having fun watching Narcos Mexico. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.